Hey y'all, so sorry about not being there today. Here is today's do now. The limit of tangent of x to the power of x as x approaches zero from the right. Go ahead and attempt this, and then I will give you the answer a little bit later in the video. Okay, give it a try, pause the video, and then continue. All right, somehow the pages for today's notes did not print with our current set. So I'd like you to write these two examples on a separate paper. You're welcome to grab line paper or use a notebook, whatever works for you, and then just include these with that set. Let's go ahead and take a look. So today's lesson is really focused on this idea of curve sketching. And we've done a bit of this already in the previous lesson, but now we're going to summarize. We're going to include all of the pieces that you've learned in calculus with all of the pieces that you learned in pre-calculus. So without the use of a graphing calculator, we're going to attempt to get a picture that shows us what this f of x equals 2x squared over x squared minus 1 looks like. Our first step is always going to be to find the domain, right? So this is a rational function, right? A ratio of polynomial functions. And really the only time we have issues with the domain is when the denominator is equal to 0. Okay, so we're going to take a look at when x squared minus 1 is equal to 0. We know that this factors to x plus 1 and x minus 1 because this is a difference of squares. So we can see that either negative 1 or 1 make this 0. So that means we have these vertical asymptotes at negative 1 and 1. Those are not in our domain. So we are going to say that our domain here is all real numbers such that x is not negative 1 or 1. So that is negative infinity to negative 1, union, negative 1 to 1, union, 1 to infinity. Now, each piece of information is going to provide us something that helps us sketch the curve. Let's go ahead and look at the next part. So our next part is we're going to find the intercepts. That is the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts. Let's start with the x-intercepts. Mathematically speaking, we find x-intercepts when we look at where y is equal to 0. That is where our function's output is 0. So we would like to know, when does 2x squared over x squared minus 1 equal 0? Note, the denominator is not allowed to be 0, so we only focus our energy on the numerator. When does 2x squared equal 0? That is when x is equal to 0. So we know then that we have an x-intercept at 0. Now, to find its output, we simply take the 0 and replace it here and here. We plug 0 in the numerator, we get 2 times 0 squared, and in the denominator, 0 squared minus 1. So we get 0 over 0. So our output, or our y value, for this x-intercept is in fact 0. So our x-intercept is located at 0, 0. All right, so once again, we need to find both intercepts. So we already know our x-intercept is at 0, 0. We need to find now our y-intercept. Okay, so we move on, and we know that our y-intercept we find when we look at where x is equal to 0. So we will take our function and we will plug in 0. So f of 0. And that's 2 times 0 squared over 0 squared minus 1, which is 0 over negative 1, which is 0. So it looks like our y-intercept and x-intercept are the one and the same. Now we're going to take a look at where a function, or whether a function is even, odd, or neither. Now remember, a function is even if when you plug in negative x, the value comes out the same as if you plugged in x. That is, the graph is symmetrical about the y-axis. If a function is odd, when you plug in negative x, out comes the opposite. So negative f of x. And that means the function has what we call rotational symmetry. So something similar to a cubic, where if you turn it 180 degrees, it still appears the same. So let's take a look. We simply need to plug in negative x and see what comes out. So we have here 2 times negative x squared minus 1. Negative x squared is still just x squared, so we have 2x squared. Negative x squared in the denominator is still x squared, so we have x squared minus 1. You will notice that the function came out the same way it began. So we can see that f of negative x is the same as f of x, meaning our function is even, meaning when we draw it, it is symmetrical about the y-axis. So it's mirrored, and that's helpful in getting our sketch. Okay, now we're going to look at asymptotes. Asymptotes occur when we have those domain issues, like we saw earlier. So those are our vertical asymptotes. So we already found that we have vertical asymptotes at x equals 1 and x equals negative 1. Now, using calculus terms, we would simply, look at the limit as x approaches those from the left and the right. So we have, the limit as x approaches 1 of this 2x squared over x squared minus 1 from the right. And so that's 2 times 1 squared. And then the denominator, when I plug in a number from the right of 1 squared minus 1, this is going to be a really small positive. So I have 2 divided by a really small positive, that's going to go to infinity. Whereas if I look at the limit as x approaches 1 from the left of 2x squared over x squared minus 1, it's actually going to be the exact same thing. Because even though I plug in a number less than 1, so like, let's say 0.9999, and I square it, actually, I misspoke. So when I plug in a number less than 1, it's going to come out less than 1 when I square it. So this bottom will be a really small negative, meaning I have 2 divided by a really small negative. Thus, we are going to get a really big negative. So our asymptote here goes in different directions, coming from positive 1 to negative 1, or from the left and from the right. Now, if we look at the limit as x approaches negative 1 from the right of our 2x squared over x squared minus 1, we're going to get 2 times negative 1 squared. And then if we plug in a negative 1 squared, that's bigger than 1, so it's a small positive. So it's the same as 1 worked, and it goes to infinity. And then the limit as x approaches negative 1 from the left of our 2x squared over x squared minus 1 is going to work similarly to the second one for 1 from the left. So negative 1 squared, really small negative, 2 over really small negative, and this goes to negative infinity. And those are our vertical asymptotes. And we can see kind of the behavior of the graph at those points. So then we can visualize, like, hey, if we're at 1, if we come at it from the right, it's going up. And if we come at it from the left, we're going down. And then we see similarly at negative 1. And so that gives us an idea of what our sketch is going to be. So now let's find our horizontal asymptotes. Horizontal asymptotes, remember, come when we look at what happens as the function approaches positive infinity and negative infinity. Let's start with positive infinity. Now, the cool thing is, remember, we have a trick for this one. We have 2 tricks, actually. We can either divide everything by the largest degree, or we can use L'Hopital's rule because this is infinite over infinite. I say we use the former. So we learned earlier in the year that if they have the same degree in the numerator and denominator, that the answer to this would just be the ratio of the coefficients. So that is 2 over 1. There's no number, it's a 1. So we see then we have a horizontal asymptote at 2 if we go forever to the right. Now let's look at the other direction. So 2x squared over x squared minus 1. And then we have the same idea. 2, and this is towards, negative infinity, over 1 is 2 horizontal asymptote at 2. And that's pretty much it. So those are asymptotes. Y equals 2, x equals negative 1, and x equals 1. Now, A through D is all pre-calc. Now let's jump back into our calculus. We'd like to know the intervals of increase and decrease. So remember, we need to check the first derivative and find those critical numbers. We have here a quotient, so we're going to need to use the quotient rule. So we keep the denominator, derivative of the numerator, minus the numerator, derivative of the denominator, over the denominator squared. Now, what we're trying to do here is figure out where this equals 0, okay? First thing I kind of want to do is clean this up a little bit. If you look at both terms in the numerator, you see that on both of them I can pull out a 4 and an x. So I'm going to do that. So 4x, and then this becomes x squared minus 1. And then if I pull a 4x out of the other, note there's a 2 and a 2, so that's 4, and then this x. So then I'm just left with minus x squared, which is helpful here, over this x squared minus 1 squared. Then that simplifies this a little bit more to 4x, and then the x squared minus x squared cancel, times a negative 1 over x squared minus 1 squared, which then once again simplifies to just negative 4x over x squared minus 1 squared. And so remember, we're looking for places where the function itself is equal to 0. So we are looking for when f prime of x is equal to 0 or d and e for our critical points. Okay, so 0, remember we're only focusing in on the numerator because the denominator can't be 0. So that is negative 4x is equal to 0 or x is equal to 0. And then d and e, that's when the denominator is equal to 0. So we have that x squared minus 1 squared is equal to 0. That is x plus 1, x minus 1, and that is both happening twice. So we have that at negative 1 twice and at 1 twice. And so our critical numbers are at negative 1, 0, and 1. And then we'll test some numbers around. So let's say we plug in negative 2. If I plug in negative 2 here, this negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. Note the denominator is always positive because it's squared. So positive, positive, positive. Now let's say I instead plug in a negative 1/2. Negative 1/2 times negative 4 is positive 2, positive, positive, positive. Now let's plug in a positive 1/2. Positive 1/2 times negative 4 is negative 2. Negative, positive, negative. And then let's say I plug in a 2. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Negative, positive, negative. So we then can say our function is increasing on negative infinity to 0. And f is decreasing on 0 to infinity. And that we have a maximum at x equals 0. And then actually we already know the output for that, so at of 0. So it's at 0, 0. All right, the next half of the video will be on the next link.